go out in the woods today, you're in for a big surprise. Warriors, maidens, and monsters fighting to the death with weapons made of foam? It's the ultimate adventure where players put on costumes and live and breathe their characters. This ain't no fooling around. This is LARP. Fanboy Confessional. The LARPer edition. Role-playing games have been popular for years. For fans of fantasy fiction, tabletop RPGs like D&D and Blood Bowl challenge players to imagine themselves in a complex world where the actions are described verbally. LARP, or live action roleplay, takes things to the next level, the physical world. Players immerse themselves into the story and act out their parts. Game masters set and apply the rules, and both player and non-player characters participate in the action. And as with any game, there is no predictable outcome. LARP popularity has been growing, thanks in part to public exposure and movies like Role Models.
Let us gingerly touch our tips. Game on!
LARP games come in all shapes and sizes, from small events lasting a few hours to big gatherings that can go on for days, combining elements of fantasy, magic, military, and horror. According to players, you haven't lived until you've suited up and done battle with a horde of monsters.
Victory!
What's the point? What do you win? According to many, the reward is what you take home from the game, back to your real life. Dave is a lifelong fantasy game player who's been LARPing for more than 10 years. He moved from playing to writing plot for the popular game Underworld. Along with his friend Ted, he's now one of the owners of the game. Kate and Shake met on a LARP a few years ago and now live and breathe it. As veteran players, they spend their spare time making new weapons and costumes, developing their characters, and training for battle. And Rachel and Daniel are LARP newbies. They've been dying to get into the action. So this year, they made a special trip to the Anime North Convention to do an Underworld weapons training workshop.
This is my first time because I turned 18. I wasn't 18 last year, and you have to be 18 to even do the demonstration. So I've been looking forward to it, so I finally got to try.
Oh, yeah!
You want in-game effects, not out-of-game effects. So you're going to want to hit them like this. Okay?
Everybody here has what we call body points. You all have 15 body. That means if you're struck for 2, it goes down to 13, etc., etc., etc. If you do die, that is if you fall below 0, you're dead. Feel free to die as dramatic as possible.
Every time you swing, you must verbally call your damage. 2 normal, 2 normal, 2 normal. I call my damage so that my opponent knows how many points to subtract from his armor and then his health. It is an honor system. You have to keep track in your head. It's no fun if people cheat. Die when you die.
I actually took a bit of sword fighting back when I was 14, and it was just for a month. But the way that they do it here is hacking and slashing. You're just trying to get the points in.
That's the point of LARP, by the way, hacking and slashing.
Yeah, I know, but it's different from the form that they would have you do otherwise.
You're aiming too high.
But he has a shield.
Yes, I know. But you see...
Clarity is important. Stopping action for logistics is done when players are out of game. When it's time to roleplay, you are in game.
We're going to end the out-of-game verbal part of this, and we're going to bring you guys in-game.
My name is Wolfgar of Clan Fenric, and I have come here from my homeland, following the scourge known as Bloody Bones. I put a call out for mighty warriors to join me to vanquish him, but you're all I got. So, grab your swords, and we're gonna go show this guy what for. Follow me! Vile goblin scum! We've come to destroy your master!
There's a legion of undead monster warriors waiting outside the hotel to demolish this ragtag team of LARP rookies. Where did they come from?
I'm actually dressed up as an NPC, which is a non-player character. We are the monsters the player characters get to attack. So we're sent out by the plot team to go and run around and attack people, and they kill us.
So how can you serve this scourge?
We just love to share it with people because it's so much fun, and we want other people to come and have that much fun with us.
Is this the best you have?
Being able to give that to a whole bunch of new players that might come out and enjoy our game is really rewarding, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I had so much fun. I'm big on hitting people.
It indulges your violent tendencies without actually being violent.
You're all brave and mighty warriors!
So now that she's 18, we can go for the day trip, I guess it is, or whatever.
Weekend camping trip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
Kate and Shake socialize with their LARP comrades in and out of game, regularly gathering to work on their costumes and weapons, sharing skills and tips.
We are making a stiletto for this gentleman here. So what do you think? Like that long? Yeah. That's all right? When I first started LARPing, I hadn't had much hands-on experience with, building anything or crafting at all. However, wanting to have my character have all of these cool items in-game and stuff like that, you kind of have to do a whole bunch of it yourself, and you get the hands-on experience. You learn how to make a boffer sword or to stud leather. Duct tape is used because out of all of the tapes, it is the most resistant to the elements. Most tapes would just come apart, and you can't have that because everything needs to be safe. The foam is necessary because if you're going to hit somebody, you got to do it safely. You don't want anybody to be out of game injured. It's a certain brand of nerd that LARPs
Just don't get it.
and there are tons of people who just don't get it.
And if you try and talk to them about it, they're like...
There's also a negative stigma that is attached to LARPing. Like, there's so many other exceptionally nerdy people who are like, oh, why online RP, but LARPing's for nerds. It's like, what?
What? Yeah.
It's
the difference between sitting in your basement alone with a computer and going out and interacting with people. We wouldn't know any of the guys here.
Or each other.
Or each other if we didn't LARP.
It's a great community.
Rachel and Daniel signed up for the next Underworld LARP event, a long weekend in the woods with only their wits and foam swords to protect them. So, they're doing their homework.
There's like hundreds of pages.
Want me to go back to the beginning or just go to the next thing or keep scrolling?
I don't know, isn't this the end?
No, there was the gods and stuff at the end.
Oh, that's right.
We sat there for 4 hours and read the rule book one day.
120 some odd pages.
Yeah.
Your character background, the skills you want, the kind of character you're gonna play, like you're gonna play a good guy, a bad guy, someone like you, someone who you always wanted to be.
Ow! Oh, you are so dead. You are so dead. You better put that down. I'm gonna kick your ass even more now.
Okay. You have to keep track of your own damage, and as people damage you, you have to constantly subtract it.
And if you haven't been keeping track very well, like I have a feeling I'm gonna have to stop on occasion and actually count with my fingers. It'll be a lot slower. I just got you in the stomach.
I just got you in the stomach.
Well, I'm sorry. If I stabbed you in the stomach, I'm pretty sure you
Wait,
die.
hold on. Does this count?
He cheats. He likes to cheat. In Laser Quest, we were playing, and we were on a team, and he just randomly calls open war and starts shooting people in the back. He shot me in the back repeatedly. He's gonna betray me and stab me.
Don't worry,
literally,
there's greater
in the
foes
back.
than you to worry about.
Really? Okay.
This event we have a ton of orcs, a ton of goblins, hobgoblins, if there's any sort of difference in the masks, if we can find something. Anything with tusks and noses.
Green skin.
Yeah, green skin.
Dave and Ted take their jobs very seriously. As owner-operators of Underworld, they need to keep things interesting for the vets and the rookies.
It's a second full-time job. We're averaging about 100 players a game now.
Okay, so 2 skeleton hands.
The time we put in is probably about 5 or 6 hours a night between myself and Edward. What I need is a mask for a monster that we're going to unleash on Shake and Cake. And I'm kind of thinking that, that looks really cool.
Yeah, with the horns.
We all write plots that can span from anywhere from 5 hours to 5 years. This plot that we're doing this weekend has been going on for about almost 2 years now. But we'll also write plots for specific camps, and we'll write plots for specific players. With Daniel and Rachel, we don't have so much of a character history for them yet, so we're going to do some more generic stuff that we can. The orcs and goblins that are coming are going to summon a monster or creature that we're going to have eventually Kate and Shake have to fight. They're veterans, so we're going to put them in a little deeper of a situation. And keep in mind that we only start the stories, they actually write the endings to it, so what we want to do doesn't always turn out to actually happen.
The Underworld creative and logistics team meet regularly to plan the course of the game, tweak the plot, and play God.
We didn't get too many concerns or issues last game. I think it went pretty smoothly. Saturday and Sunday, there was a little bit of downtime during the day. But let's try this game to keep things a little more cohesive and make sure that we're always got something going at all times. We've been doing it a long time now that we know quite a bit how to push the buttons and how to, I don't want to say manipulate, but I guess in a sense we're kind of manipulating their in-game characters to do what we want, which is fun for them. Ted and I just came back from prop shopping. Almost everything that we picked up is available for you guys to use if you want to write something for it. I have found a way to be creative. I'm not normally a creative person artistically, but I've found a way that I personally can be creative in a way that is successful. One of the best feelings in the world is to write a storyline that has engaged our players and my friends now, and to hear them talk about it 5 years down the road as if it was something that had happened in real life.
A long weekend of LARP is up next for our veterans and our rookies. Bring suntan lotion and orc spray.